Another welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbau, and it was Antoine Semenyo's last-ditch winner, which ensured that the Black Stars of Ghana continue to remain top of their group in the AFCON qualifiers to be hosted. AFCON qualifiers in a tournament that has to be hosted at the Ivory Coast. It was a thrilling game at the Barara Sports Stadium, and this was how the Black Stars put to bed their counterpart Angola. And that's how Ghana defeated their counterpart Angola. At commentary position for Joy 99.7 FM was my colleague Fentio Tahiru Fentio, and also the stadium was Fifi Manfred of Insha FM. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on Prime Sports tonight. Let me start with you, Fentio Tahiru Fentio. I mean, tell me what a win that was, but it was a late one. How did you really go through that moment from the commentary position? Hello, Fentio. If you can unmute yourself while we wait for Fentio, let me connect to Fifi Manfred. Fifi, some have described it as...
Yes, Musbau, I can hear you.
Great, Fentio, let's hear from you.
Yeah. So I was saying that this was far from an easy victory. I've watched easier Black Stars matches than this one. Chris Hutton came here. He promised functional victories, and he delivered. It wasn't pretty. But in the end, 3 points are 3 points. Ghana top of the group, and that was what was needed because it was a very nervy game. At times, the crowd went quiet, and in fact, in those last 5 minutes or so, some fans started to leave the stadium. How they would have regretted that decision, because the victory came when no one expected it, and it came from a substitute, and that is what top managers are paid to do. The going was tough. It was difficult. He had to make changes. He made the changes, and one of the substitutes that he brought on brought the victory. The crowd loved it after the game. A lap of honor, and it was one that was quite interesting because the captain Andre Ayew, who was dropped from the starting lineup and was never brought on as a substitute, didn't even participate in that, and that's one of the things that stood out from today's game. Chris Hutton had to make bold calls, and that was as bold as he gets, dropping the captain Andre Ayew, who is very rarely used to sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
But for 90 minutes, he didn't bring him on and still secured the victory. It is not one of those performances that was free-flowing, and a lot of that, or partly, some of that was due to the bumpy nature of the pitch. It looked green, it looked lush, but it was really difficult to play any sort of smooth passing football on that surface because it's bumpy and undulating at times, and the grass looked slightly too tall for a professional football match. So those difficulties are there, and they would continue to exist. It wasn't exactly strange for many of us that follow the Ghana Premier League, but if you don't follow the Ghana Premier League, that would have looked a little bit odd for you. But that's how that pitch has always been. Well, and the only way to fix that problem would be to completely relay the pitch, because there are too many bumpy sides on that pitch that makes playing any smooth sailing kind of football.
All right, let me bring Fifi in now. All right, Fifi, I mean, you also monitored the Angolan side. I'm not sure if the kind of outputs they, put on the field today was quite surprising for you. They were a very difficult side to break, and of course, like Fans just described, it had to take a last-minute ditch for us to be able to get the win there.
Yes, I think that's exactly what we expected with Angolans coming here. Because if you look at their last 10 games, one that they had just lost once, all the away games that they had played, they had just conceded not more than one. It has been very, very difficult for any team to beat them when they go away. They are very resolute. And I think they were very, very organized. In that 2 blocks of 4, that 4-4-2 off the ball shape was very good. And with a Ghanaian team that wasn't really clicking, that didn't have any clear-cut pattern to get the penetration that we needed, it was always going to be seemingly easy for them to contain us. And I think they did that perfectly well in the first half and large parts of the second half. I think we need to give them a lot of credit. I think they played to a certain plan, to sit back, to allow us to get the ball, but then not really affects the game so much, and then essentially stay in the game and wait for their openings. And I think they did that. They got the opening when the openings did come, and then but they really did not get to test Lawrence Atizigi enough over there. So generally, it was a game that we expected Angolans to be that resolute, and I think they did just that. You were very, very good. It went straight to the wire, and Fint was in encouraging position, and almost all of us who were at the stadium were just relieved when that goal came through.
Interesting. I mean, fans, of course, the Black Stars will have to travel to Luanda on Monday when they play, Angola themselves in the second leg of that qualifier. I mean, what do you think needs to be done to improve the team? And even so, what should be the objective for the team to go there and win it or possibly get a draw, considering we are top of the group with 7 points at the moment? Hello, Fentio. All right, let me just
yes, I think it would be considered a very good result if Ghana can go there and get a draw. Like Fifi mentioned, Angola have been in some decent run of form, just 1 defeat in their last 10, and games at home are incredibly difficult for opposition teams. And at the moment, the dynamics of the group is what makes this game particularly interesting, because as things stand, Ghana have 7 points. If they were to go to Angola and get beaten, then Angola go up to 7 points as well. And now you have the Central African Republic, who secured a very unlikely 3-0 win away from home at Madagascar on 4 points. They host Madagascar in the return leg as well. That could easily be another 3 points for them, and suddenly they go up to 7. And you don't want that kind of closeness, because it makes games very, very difficult to win. The team will stay in Kumasi and train fully here tomorrow. And then they will jet off to Angola on Saturday from Kumasi. Then Sunday they will train and then play the game on Monday. So I think part of the reason they struggle here today as well, you have to understand, this is the first time many of these players are playing in front of this kind of crowd. It's huge. It's a relatively young team, and it's a new manager as well. So, it's a new era, and new eras don't always begin in fairy tale fashions. Chris Heating has said he's not going to play any or promise any flamboyant kind of football, and today wasn't exactly flamboyant. He did promise victories, and he delivered. There were hitches here and there, but the victory came. And in the end, I think that is good for the team's confidence. But Angola certainly would be very difficult. Yeah. But this is a team that is capable of getting a result there, and perhaps without the pressure, playing away from home, they might play a lot better than they have. Remember, Ghana generally don't play too well at home. When they go away without the pressure, they're usually a very good team. The performance you saw today was less satisfactory than the performance we saw at the World Cup, but we still finished the group, the World Cup, bottom of the group. So, it's not very, it's not. Yeah, it's not always all smooth sailing, but in the end, that's what it is. The lights just went out. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay, light just went out in Kumasi. Fifi, I'm sure your light is also out there. But guys, thanks very much for joining us on Prime Sports tonight. My name is Razak Musbau, and thanks for being a part of this.